Hello, it's Mr. Crozier again for another assignment check. So, just like last time, before we get going here and before you see any of these things, how they should be done, be sure that you get your assignment checked off, whether you finished it or not, by your teacher. All right, so here we're going to get going here. So keep in mind we have to distribute everything we can and then find all of our like terms and combine them. So we need to, for number 1 here to get us going, well, we've got a parentheses with something multiplied outside. So we have to distribute that in. We're going to have 2 times 3x's plus, got to not forget to take that into the second term, 2 times 4. And then we've got our minus 2x and our plus 10. We don't do anything to those yet because they were just outside of the parentheses. So we're going to start to simplify this. We've got 2 times 3x is going to give us 6x, and 2 times 4 is going to give us 8. And I'll bring the rest down that I couldn't deal with yet. So got some like terms we need to combine. Got our x terms, so we've got a 6x and a minus 2x. When we combine those, that will get us 4x's. So we're going to bring our 4x over here. And then our constant terms we have to deal with, no variables. We have a plus 8 and a plus 10. So 8 plus 10 is just plus 18 here. So 4x plus 18 is our fully distributed and simplified expression here. Number 2, got to take this negative 7 in. So negative 7 times x plus a negative 7 times 2. Then we have a minus x and a plus 1 outside of the parentheses, so I just leave them. Negative 7 times x is negative 7x. Negative 7 times 2 is negative 14, so I'm going to get rid of that plus sign and just go minus 14. And we've got minus x and plus 1. So like terms, we've got our negative 7x and our minus x. So negative 7 minus 1, I'm just manipulating those coefficients. Negative 7 minus 1 is negative 8x. And then we move on to our constant terms, things without a variable. Negative 14 and plus 1. And if you use your calculator, negative 14 plus 1 is a minus 13. So we have negative 8x minus 13. All right, number 3. This looks kind of long and crazy, but once we have the process going, it will not be too bad here. So first thing we got to do with any of these is we want to distribute before we try to combine. So we've got a negative 2 out in front of this parenthesis stuff here. So we're going to just go ahead and shortcut and bring all the rest of this down. All right, so we've got a negative 2 times an x here, right there, and a negative 2 times a 10 minus y plus 80 plus 5y. Going to do those multiplications out right now, so bring everything else down. 3x plus 4. Well, negative 2 times x is a minus 2x. Negative 2 times 10 is a minus 20. Minus y plus 80 plus 5y. If it's not inside of the parentheses or right next to the parentheses, I leave it alone. And starting with our like terms here, so we've got a 3x and a minus 2x. Okay, that seems to be all of my x terms. So 3x minus 2x leaves us with just one of them. think we went green for y terms, so let's keep that pattern going. We're going to have a minus y and a plus 5y. Okay, well, negative 1 of something plus 5 of that something is going to give us plus 4 of that something. So we're going to have plus 4y. And then I'm dealing with my constants. So plus 4, minus 20, and plus 80. Oh boy. All right, so 4 minus 20 in our calculators will give us negative 16. And then negative 16 plus 80 is going to give us a plus 76. Wait a minute. I goofed. Sorry. Let's do that over. So I might need to actually bust out the calculator here. So my x's were good. 3x minus 2x is just x. My y's were good. Negative y plus 5y is plus 4y. And now we have a... Use my calculator here. Give me a second. All right, so 4 minus 20 in my calculator, negative 16, plus 80, 64. There we go, I'm sorry. So not 74, that is plus 64. I just messed doing that up in my head. So our simplified expression, x plus 4y plus 64. There we go. Now we're on the right track. And all done for that one. Number 4 here, remember we want to distribute everywhere we have a set of these parentheses where we can. So, got to take this negative in. So the opposite of 9 is negative 9. Got to take this negative in here. So the opposite of minus 6x is plus 6x. Now I'm going to leave that plus 1/2 alone, and I have to distribute this negative 8. So negative 8 times x is negative 8x, and 1/4 of negative 8, or negative 8 times 1/4, is minus 2. X terms, we've got 6x minus 8x. All right, so 6 of something minus 8 of something is negative 2x's. And then we have all of our constant terms to deal with. So minus 9, plus 1/2, and minus 2. All right, well, negative 9 plus 1/2 is going to give us negative 8.5. And negative 8.5 minus 2 will give us minus 10 and 1/2. So minus 10 and 1/2. And there it is simplified. This big nasty thing got simplified after distribution and combining like terms to this little bit better one. All right, number 5 here, got to distribute. 5 times y is a 5y. And 5 times 11x, remember I'm just manipulating the coefficient here. So 5 times 11 is 55x's. Minus 13 plus 7. They're not in the parentheses, so I leave them alone. All right, and dealing with my x terms, we have just 55x, so I'm going to leave that alone. I can go ahead and bring that over to my answer space too. Sorry, that's x's. And then dealing with the y terms, well, I've only got one. It's that lonely 5y out there. So we'll just bring him down as a plus 5y. And finishing this off here with my constant terms, we have a negative 13 and a plus 7. And negative 13 plus 7 is going to be minus 6. Bring that on over, and that is our simplified expression here. And finishing it off, number 6, distribute this negative x in here. So I'll leave these alone, 3x plus 4. Now negative x times 2 is a minus 2x. Negative x times 10 is a minus 10x. And now we've got to deal with our like terms. So 3x's minus 2x's minus 10x's. 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 minus 10 is negative 9x's. And finally, for our lonely little constant out there, we're just going to leave it alone because that's the only one there is. He has no like terms to go with it. So plus 4, we're going to finish that off as a plus 4. All right, if you got any of these incorrect, I'm hoping that you decided to follow along and see how the process goes so that we can have this skill under our belts here. So there you have it. Thanks, and I'll talk to you again here soon.